Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How you guys doing? Did you guys enjoy Imran's talk? Hopefully it was beneficial, inshallah. So I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm just going to talk about a few minutes, inshallah. So I just want to ask you guys a question. Do you know what this is? Attar. Yeah. What is attar? For our non-Muslim friends, they don't know. Fragrance. Fragrance, all right. Would any of you guys worship this fragrance of oil? Even for you non-Muslims in here, would you worship this? No way. Why? Why would you worship it? Say that again?
It's not the creator.
It's not the creator? Why not else?
Because it's just an object.
It's just an object, right? It's ridiculous. You would never worship this other. I want to tell you a story. There was this guy I once knew. His name was Shailesh. And he was like you guys. You know, he went to college, he went to university. He had a good upbringing. He had a brother and he had a sister. You know, he wanted to be successful in life. He had, you know, so many dreams that he wanted to achieve. And, you know, he was looking for answers to questions that he had, but, you know, he was just following the societal sort of norm. He wanted to have, you know, a big family, he wanted to have money, he wanted to buy a big house, he wanted to achieve all these things in his life. And he was, you know, focused towards that. After he finished his university, he got a job in the city, he was making good money, everything was good. But let me tell you something about Shailesh. Shailesh, he came from a Hindu background, right? And he used to go to the temple, he used to worship idols, such as Vishnu, Krishna, Hanuman, all these sort of man-made idols. And even though for Shailesh it never made, you know, it didn't make much sense, he just went with it because, number one, that's what his family were doing. Number two, he was just going with the flow, you know, and he didn't know any better. So he just decided to go through this, and like he celebrated the Hindu celebrations. He was in the Hindu community. He had friends. He had family. You know, he thought he was doing good in life. And then what happened was, whilst he was at university, like you guys, someone came and gave him some information about Islam. And this person was a good friend of Shailesh's. Shailesh, he didn't know much about Islam, right? He thought it was something that Pakistanis, it was their religion, right? It's the religion that Pakistanis followed. He didn't know much about Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't know much about anything. But what he saw from his good friend, the Muslim family, that, you know, they had really good actions, they had really good akhlaq, they had good manners, and they seemed to be happy. So when he read this, like sort of this brochure, this leaflet about Islam, he was shocked. Because he always believed in the existence of a creator, right? He always believed it, but he had no reason to follow anything else. Because he just desired, you know, he followed what his family told him. He followed what people around, you know, were following. So it didn't really clash. So he was shocked. The first time he read about Islam, that there is one creator and we should worship him alone. He is the creator, there's nothing like him. You know, we were created for a particular purpose. When we die, we're heading for a certain destination. All these basic things. And he was shocked because even though he was what he thought was successful in life, even though he thought he was happy, even though he thought, you know, he was going to aim for good things in his life, he was shocked because he had never heard this information before, and he was shocked because it made more sense than what he was following. And to him, finally, when he sat down, he contemplated and he thought about it, he read the Quran, it made sense to him. Finally, life made sense. It made sense, like, what is my purpose? Why do I exist? Where do we come from? What is going to happen to us when we die? We have hope in our lives. You know, There's a creator and all he wants is good for us. And we as humanity, we are one. And this person, Shailesh, he took his Shahada in 2002 at Regent's Park Masjid. Alhamdulillah, you know, and ever since then, his life has been amazing. And the reason, you know, we hear many stories like that. We heard the story about the brother, mashallah. He had a similar journey. And when we hear stories like this, we are really inspired as Muslims. But the reason I'm telling you this is that person, Shailesh, is standing in front of you. I am Shailesh, so I became Salahuddin when I became a Muslim. Right? And like a few years ago, my sister, she also became Muslim. So there's two of us now. But the point is that I went throughout my whole life knowing nothing about Allah, knowing nothing about our Creator. I mentioned, like, would you ever worship this? And you all said you wouldn't. But there are people out there, they worship idols, they worship stones. They don't know what they're doing. And, you know, we live, like we live in England where 95% of us, 95% of the population is not Muslim. There's only 5% that are Muslim, right? And we're at university as well, and we have friends and family. You all of you, guaranteed you guys know someone who is not a Muslim. Whether it's your neighbor, whether it's your friend, whether it's your work colleague, or it's someone. Now I want you to imagine, put yourself in that person's shoes, right? He doesn't know who his Lord is. He may be enjoying his life, he may be doing things. But the ultimate reality of our life is that when we die, we're going to face our Creator, we're going to face Allah. And He's going to ask us the questions. You know, how did you live your life? Did you live a good life? Did the message of Islam come to you? Did you follow the message? And these people that you know, your friends, your families and neighbors, a lot of them will say, no, we didn't know the message of Islam. And Allah will ask them, didn't you know any Muslims? And they'll say, no, we knew hundreds of Muslims, but none of them came and gave us the message of truth. The fingers will be pointed back at us because we didn't fulfill our duty. There's one hadith that I want to relate to you guys, right? Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the angels to go and destroy a town because there's so much corruption happening in this town. So the angels go to this town and they come back to Allah and they tell Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's a pious worshipper in that town. There's a pious worshipper in that town. Meaning there's, you know, one of your slaves is there. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell the angels? Does anyone know? Yep, what does he say? Start with him first. Why?
Because he didn't spread the message.
He didn't spread the message. So this was the worship of Allah. This was a person who was worshipping Allah. He was following all the rules and regulations. And if we look at the analogy of us today, we wake up for Fajr, we go to the masjid, we do all the good actions, we give to charity, we go to Hajj, we go to Umrah. Yet, we are not fulfilling our main purpose, which is what? We are the best of mankind, best of nations sent out to mankind. We enjoin the good and forbid the evil. And we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. So, all I want to say to you guys is, look, we have a duty to spread the message of Islam. You know, our lives are very limited, right? And, you know we're going to stand in front of Allah with our deeds, whether they be good. And we hope, you know, we have many good deeds that outweigh our bad deeds. And, you know, we hear people about the past. We read stories about people like Abu Bakr, Omar al-Khattab, all the, you know, the Sahaba. We hear about, you know, the pious predecessors, even like my namesake, Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, right? May Allah reward them all, right, for what they did. And we're inspired by these stories, right? When we hear them in the masjid, we hear them on lectures, they talk about these people and we go, you know, mashallah, these people were, you know, did something really great for Islam. And we know that on the Day of Judgment, you know, inshallah, when we face Allah and we're around all these people, we may get to see these people. And when we reach these people, we say, wow, you know, you were amazing, you did this and you did that. But the reality is, they'll say, yes, I did do that. But then that person will turn around and say to you, well, what did you do? What did you do? You see, we're living in a time where we have more resources than, you know, the people of the past had, and it is our duty to spread the message. Subhanallah, there's millions and billions of people like me who used to worship stones, who didn't know our purpose. So all I want to do is basically leave you with this, is a call to action. You know, there's an organization called IERA. It stands for the Islamic Education and Research Academy. They're a dawah organization, so they go out there and they provide, what they do is they provide dawah support. So they facilitate the dawah, they provide training, they also provide support for new Muslims, and they do a lot of research. So what you guys can do, if you go and search on the internet, you can you know, go to their website. They do a lot of activities where they provide dawah training, they do research seminars, they also set up dawah organization teams for your locality, which you guys can get involved with, dawah related activities, and they do also activities to look after new Muslims. So my advice is, please get involved with, you know, the Amir of the ISOP and also the brother from Wise. We can, you know, we can do so much. You know, we as Muslims, we are upon the truth. We should never fear to convey the message of Islam, regardless if it's an atheist, it's a Christian, regardless of their background. We know this is all false, but we must do our duty. You know, we must do our duty. So I just want to leave that with you guys as a call of action. As I finish, who's gonna now get involved in the dawah? I want to see a show of hands. Who's gonna get involved? Who's gonna help this ummah? Come on, brothers and sisters, put your hands up. Put your hands up. I want to see you all get involved and fulfill your responsibility, guys. Inshallah. Okay, Jazakallah khairan.